Hello, everyone. In today's video, we're going to be creating a new series on BeamNG and automation. And we had some pretty good success with the last one. So I said, you know what? It'd be kind of fun to go ahead and do another one. So here we are. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making different generations of this kind of strange looking platform. I guess I would call this a light sport utility vehicle. At the time, it would probably just be considered a regular utility vehicle. So this should be kind of interesting, and I'm kind of hoping to see how things will change. Now, in our previous version, of course, when we did this, we, of course, did nice family sedans, and we took it on nice little Italian roads. And this one, we're going to beat the crap out of, basically. And we're going to take it off-road and triple trailers and be all sorts of nasty. So let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and grab myself some steel here. Of course, we're going to use ourselves a monocue here. Space frame is a little bit easier to repair, actually. I think I'm going to go with that. Obviously, we want to have some durability. The engine only comes one way. Obviously, we're dealing with something that's going to be like this. We'll do a leaf, and we'll do leaf. Oh, man, what a... Oh, ho, 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 ho. This is going to be interesting, kind of a series here. So I'm going to head up to my next panel. We got to build ourselves an engine. Now, there's a lot of different engines of this era that we could probably base our stuff on. And if we wanted to be authentic here, we could design something that's kind of fun. Let's see here. This would be a notable, we'll call it an I4, because of course, this is kind of what they had in the era sort of a thing. Now, obviously, we can't call this a devil, so we'll call this a demon. There we go. A demon, I like that. The demon, cool. So we're going to grab ourselves an inline 4, and obviously this thing's going to be tiny. You can see we've almost run out of room in the car already. And we have something that's this small. It's not much. One of the big things with, of course, these kinds of engines that are designed basically for utility purposes is they usually were optimized for torque over horsepower. Generally, what that means for us is when we come down here, this number is going to be bigger than this number, kind of a thing like that. So if we wanted to, we could drop this down to, well, let's call this 80. Let's call this 100. Let's move. And that gets us a nice 2-liter engine here. And this is a chunky 2-liter engine here. Little teeny tiny cylinders here, but we have very, very long strokes. And of course, back then, what do we have as far as this technology goes? Obviously, we're not dealing with dual overhead cams. We're dealing with push rods, of course. Oof, this thing already is offensive. But I like, oh my gosh, look at that chunk of metal. Oh man, this thing is going to be disappointing. Cast iron, cast. Let's see here. Balance shafts. Yeah, we are a 4-cylinder. We need something. So I'll put in a balance shaft in 6.5 pounds. Probably something closer to 6. It's going to be a little bit better there. And that's going to be our engine. It's nothing special. It's a 2-liter engine, which I feel like we're going to be a little underpowered here. But we'll see what happens. Again, this is part of the fun. Go ahead and close that for now. Compression, this is the 1940s. Compression is not going to be very high. Let's drop that down to 8.5. That's probably a good place to start. Cam profile, this isn't a sports car. No, don't even. Springs and lifters, we'll leave that alone. We don't know yet. RPM limit, this is going to be like 5,000. If we're lucky, we'll get to 5,000. We'll find out. No turbochargers, it's the 40s. Let's go head over here. Carburetor. So we have a choice between a single barrel or a 2-barrel carburetor. We'll go with a single barrel. We'll probably do a single too. We'll do standard or low. Again, I don't know what my airflow requirements are going to be, so we're guesstimating here. Obviously, AV gas, of course. No, we're going to put some regular fuel, 92 RON there. RON is such not an American thing, but that's okay. I'm not going to be too annoyed about it. Obviously, we're going for a cheap utility vehicle here. We'll do some nice, simple little cast stuff. This is going to be way too big of an exhaust, I can tell you. The first muffler, we're not going to do that, but we'll go ahead and put a baffle muffler. And this is the version we get here. Let's see, our pistons are getting wrecked. Our connection rods are getting wrecked. And our total power right now is 55 horsepower. Oh, we've got work to do, but again, this is part of the fun, as they say. So a couple different things we can do here. Obviously, we can reduce the red line RPM, which is probably going to be my first place to start here. We'll bring the red line RPM down to a 4,200. It's so pitiful, but that's okay. Like I said, it's all work in progress here. One thing we can see here is that our carburetor is badly choked. Obviously, we can make it bigger, or we can go to a twin carburetor. So we have both choices here. Either one's going to work pretty well for us. And again, we're going to get a bunch of warnings about that. That's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shrink the carburetor a little bit here. I'm going to shrink it to about 90% because we're probably going to have some power coming up in a minute that's going to make this number get bigger. So we're going to leave it there. Our manifold is actually a little tiny. So what we'll do is we'll go to a standard mid-performance manifold. And our power has spiked. Actually, our power is spiked in a bad way here. So let me go ahead and increase that just a little bit. Let's see here. Is 5,000 going to destroy it? I I've made an engine that's already going to be too good for the generation that it's supposed to be. So my pistons, unfortunately, we're getting a warning here that says we're getting high levels of RPM stress. So we can improve the quality of the pistons. A couple things we can do here. Obviously, you can put heavier pistons on there. It doesn't do anything for us. Or, of course, we can try to improve this, but we just don't have the technology to make it better. The piston's just too big. So what we could do, of course, is we could up the quality a tiny bit here. And what that will do is that'll just mean, we have a slightly nicer piston kind of a thing. It was slightly better performance. The next problem, of course, notice my carburetors are now struggling, like I said it would. Notice my manifold struggling, like I said it would. Notice my valves are not happy. Basically, we're wasting valves here. So a couple different things we could do. One thing, of course, we could do is we could try to increase the cam profile a bit here. Again, we're not making a sports car. We're making, basically a general purpose utility vehicle here. That's probably really what we should be calling it. And that gets us, let's see here, 93 pound-feet. That's not terrible. And we have some underutilized fuel octane. But we're starting to get somewhere. I like this engine already. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and play with the manifold. It's choking it a little tiny bit here. Notice, by the way, the exhaust has not been an issue this entire time. And our carburetor is still a little small, which is exactly what I expected would happen here. Let's go ahead and now crank the size of it to about 95%. Let's improve my intake manifold. Oh my gosh, I'm actually running out of room for horsepower on this thing. Oh, why is this engine so good? All right, let's come back here and tweak our exhaust a little bit. Exhaust is just too big right now. Actually, we could probably go with this and then shrink the exhaust a little bit. And we'll do that. Looks pretty good to me. And of course, we have to change our headers. They are absolutely the wrong size here. Okie dokie. All right. I think all we have to do now is to tune it just a tiny bit more. Obviously, we have some engine issues there. Let's go ahead and shrink the manifold so it's a little bit closer to ideal. Let's shrink the carburetor so it's a little closer to ideal. And I think we're getting real close now. Yeah, that's pretty good. Again, 99% is don't polish the cannonball. That's something that one of my former professors would always yell at us for, especially for engineering purposes. All right, let's see here. I'll crank that up just a tiny bit. And obviously, we're not going to get 100% for all of those. And our exhaust, of course, so we can try to improve that just a teeny tiny bit. Now, there's a couple different ways we can improve the exhaust, by the way. This is usually the easiest one to use. But we can, of course, come up here and can I get just slightly better exhaust? And we actually make a slightly worse exhaust, and that actually improves our horsepower. Don't think about that too hard. All right, and there we have it. We have a nice flat torque curve. Of course, it's going to take us a lifetime to get to that torque, which is going to make for a little less drivable, but it's nice and flat in here. I kind of appreciate that. So 96.1. Oh my gosh, this thing is 80 horsepower. Oof. Come back here. That's all looking pretty good to me. Definitely kind of a classic overhead valve look. Let's give it the old test. Okay, that's not bad. One thing I do want to do, though, is since we're peaking here at about 4,600, I'm actually going to improve the quality of my engineering here just a tiny bit. We don't need to do this now, and I'll show you why, because we can come down here. We can actually back this up a little bit right there. So now we're almost literally perfect. That's exactly what I want. Sweet. So that takes care of reliability for us. That also sets a pretty solid little piece there. And now we're ready for the easy parts. And that's going to be basically figuring out how ugly this thing's going to be today. So this one, we have nothing in the front. This one, at least we get an extra door. And of course, this one is... It's so wrong. It's just offensive. Like, offensive. That's okay, though. All right, let's head into here. I'll grab some paint. That is the incorrect color for this thing. Obviously, there's only one color for this vehicle as far as I'm concerned. Assuming I can find it, that is. I'll go ahead. Oh my gosh. That is like glow in the dark. Okay, so I wanted really, really dark, ugly green. I got like kind of this almost like, oh my gosh, look at how ugly that color is. Sweet. I love it. Let's go ahead and move on here. Let's see here. Is there any trim? There's trim panels and things like that. You can have some fun with this. Obviously, you can do one of these if you want to be kind of silly. That's not going to make that much of a difference, though, because that fabric material is going to be a little different. There's our roof material. That's what we can change here. So I kind of like the black. I mean, if we want to, we could be awful and do that. Ugh. Wow, this thing's annoying. And I love the fact that we have this little piece of metal that's just sort of jutting through. I'm sure that's perfectly fine. All right, I'll go ahead and press that. Go to the next page here. So now we need to figure out what the heck this thing is actually going to look like. This is going to be the hard part. So what I'm kind of thinking is circular headlights is definitely going to be in order here because that's kind of that generation. So, okay, it's got to do something like that. I feel like those are just slightly oversized. And again, not going for perfect here. We're going for utility. So we've got those two eyes right there. And I know, of course, we need a grill that's going to look like that because, that's the correct thing it's supposed to have. Before we do that, we'll go spin around in the back here. Oh, my gosh, there's so many fun choices to stick on the back of my little... So for something more boring. Okay, that's about as boring as you can get here. We'll go ahead and stick those just like that. This thing's going to be such a clunker. All right, so now, of course, we have our indicators. Indicators, what's that? I believe it's used for indicating things. Of course, I live close to Massachusetts, and they don't actually believe in utilizing indicators, and the thing. And also, they believe that certain signs are stoptional, but that's just me. All right, so that looks pretty good to me. Obviously, favorite cooling. We'll go ahead and see if we can find ourselves a grill. I know what I want. I just have to find it. It's just like anything in this program, kind of a thing. There we go. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Honestly, it looks too nice. It's like kind of shiny. We could, of course, come in here and I'll make that. Okay, open wide. This is how. Nice. I love it. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. This is gonna be offensive. I like it. All right, we're not gonna have any cooling vents or anything like that. Sunroof, nah. Favorite aerodynamics, what? A spoiler, 3D, none of that. Whoop, gas cap. We'll go ahead and grab that real quickly here. We'll go ahead and slam. Look at how big it is. Why is it so big? Okay, that thing is gigantic. Maybe we can go a little bit more subtle here. We'll get a more traditional kind of little rectangular one, kind of a thing like that. There we go. I like that. All right, a door handle. Obviously, we need the clunkiest, chunkiest door handle we can possibly get our hands on here. And that is about as clunky chunky as I'm going to get here. Obviously, we're a utility vehicle. We're not designed for, nice necessities. Now, let's go ahead and grab a nice heavy metal mirror here. And again, a nice metal mirror, I think, is almost being nice. I don't know that this thing would have it. Actually, if we're going to do this right, let me see what we can do here. Maybe we can stick it off the front. Let's do something like that. I'm just trying to look at it. Oh my gosh. Yes, I cannot see that at all. And why is it so tiny? I don't know why it does that. Like some things are like perfectly sized, and then other times you just grab something, you're like, what? There we go. So now we can see behind ourselves, which, oh my gosh, I still don't know what's going on with that, but oh well, what are you going to do? All right, miscellaneous, antennas, no. Number plates, oh, I feel offensive. Let's see here. I'm going to grab the California plate, pop that right in the middle. Let's use the actual California plate, though. Right there, looks pretty good to me. This is definitely not a New York car. This is definitely something to be out west somewhere. Pure Michigan, I like that. FMT 1903. I like that. Okay, that's what we got. All right, bumper bar, of course. We need something in the front so that if I smack into something, I do more damage to myself than I do the thing I smacked into. It's just kind of the nature of the beast here. Oh, yeah, that's chunky. That is a chunky bumper bar. Let's go ahead and raise this up a little bit. Oh, yeah, that's going to take the first hit that I do. Of course, I'm going to smack this thing so many times. Let's go ahead and grab one of these and toss one of them in the back as well. That looks pretty good right there. Go ahead and spread it out just a touch. There we go. Yes! I like how these things are like chrome and everything else is like green. So we're using the notable company today. These are not luxury vehicles. So I'm not going to do one of my legends. I'll say that for another series if people are into it. And I'll put my little letter N there for notable because these are not legends. All right, wheels. Honestly, those wheels look pretty bad. I love it. I feel like I don't need to change it. We can do something like that. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that. Exhaust tip. We're only a single exhaust here. So we'll keep it nice and boring. My gosh, everything's too exciting. Right there. There we go. And that should auto. Oops. We have to actually set up the transmission first. Manual beer box. Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to do that so that the pipe would line up properly. And now, of course, we need something new. Windshield wipers. Oh, yes. We definitely want to do that kind of a windshield wiper deal here. That would definitely be especially appropriate. Of course, I believe if I'm doing this correctly, the windshield wiper should actually be up here. But, yeah, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to put it right there. Cool. All right. Now we need a tow bar. And yes, I'm going to be doing some of that. And it's going to be embarrassing, and that's the point. There we go. Oh, yes. Ta-da! That'll be fun. All right, so let's get on to transmission. 4-speed, obviously. Top speed, it's rated for 100. Doesn't mean it's going to get to 100. Let's go 100. We want a manual locker here. Putting this to automatic would be super nice, but we'll do manual because in my mind, that's just going to be traditional. We'll go to the next page here. Let's see here. We need utility. This is a utility vehicle. Man, those tires are tiny. This is going to be bad for us. Yeah, it's pretty chunky. I feel like actually I could probably go upper rims. Ugh. Oh my, that's not appropriate at all. And we're stuck with cross ply because of course the 40s come to brakes. Yeah, the biggest drum brakes they physically can make here. That's going to be really, really critical for us. That looks pretty good to me. It looks pretty good to me. Aerodynamics. Yeah, we'll take that. Cooling airflow. Whoop. One of the things you'll actually notice here is if you increase this, what this is going to do is it can potentially increase your reliability. If you need that, I'm not going to mess with that because that causes issue. Interior, manual soft top, detachable soft top. Obviously, it's going to be detachable. Basic. No, 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 no. We'll pretend there's a radio inside, kind of a thing like that. Seats, we're definitely a +2 in the back. Obviously, you can't see those seats, but I'm not worried about that. Driver aids. Back opinion, for sure. We'll do standard 1940s here. And we're going to get a bunch of angry, angry things. That's an off-road basic. Well, that's actually basically what we're going for here, so I'm not complaining. Front dampers. That means we're doing everything correctly here. Obviously, we're a utility vehicle, so let's select utility. Front dampers are still a bit much, and we have to play with the brakes. Welcome to the fun. Pop, 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 pop. I don't know why they set these sway bars so soft. That looks good. I like that. Let's see. Rear brake force is very high compared to the grab. We're actually doing pretty well right now. Let's go back to this one. Brakes and sorry, that's my best Monty Python sound effect I can create there. I believe that's when she said, "Well, I'll have your spam," kind of a thing like that. But you know it is. Obviously, our brakes only need to be good enough to provide us with braking force. We don't need it to be locking the tires up every single time you tap it. By the way, I love the fact my front brakes are actually like pretty much matched. I like that. All right, car's weight and heavy steering make it very difficult to drive. Consider changing the steering method. Okay, if you insist. Head back over here. This, unfortunately, is going to knock the sportiness right out of it, as if it had sportiness to begin with. All right, I think we have ourselves a vehicle. Let's go take it over to the test track real quickly here. Oh my gosh, this thing's embarrassing. I can't wait to try to take this thing. So let's go grab our airfield here. I'll crank up the speed to maximum and watch the fun. I'd be amazed if you get less than 2 minutes on this. We're here. All right. I'm actually amazed. I did not expect to get less than 2 minutes with this thing. It's like taking an 18-wheeler through here. All right. So now what we have to do is we have to grab this, and we're going to go drag it over to our good friend BeamNG, see what happens. Alrighty then. Here we are. This is going to be the hard part. How are we going to manage? All right. So the first challenge here is going to be to get the trailer set up here. So, of course, we can pop up the trailer jack. That's all ready to go. So let's get to it, as always. All right. Now, if my calculations are correct, which they probably aren't. Yes, I know I'm cheating in third person, and I hate third person, and y'all can just deal. Oop, keep hitting too many buttons here. It's one problem with this program sometimes. There we go. And just kind of back ourselves up a little bit. Guess the first challenge is going to be, can you back yourself up all the way? And it brings up the lift gate already. So in case you're curious, our load today is 600 kilograms plus our trailer. We're going to be taking it off-road like dumb people here and kind of enjoy sort of our drive. So this is a pretty good view. I like it so far. Let's go ahead and put it. Oh! Oh, that's dangerous. Let's go ahead and put it into low range here and see if it's a little better. Okay, I can work with that. That's not bad. All right, time to do some very reckless driving, the best kind of reckless driving. Okay, so it's okay. I mean, the brakes are there. They're like not like, game over brakes by any means or anything like that. Now let's go ahead and pop on here. We're going to go ahead and tighten up the rear and put the back into high here, swing back into second gear. We're going to go ahead and lock up the rear differential, and we're going to lock up the front differential, make it a little bit safer for us. How long before we lose that? Let's go. Actually, I need this view just so I can see how fast I'm going. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. Oh, okay. Actually, this isn't terrible. This isn't terrible. I've had some very bad experiences towing things off-road. And this is bad, but it's not like, game over bad or anything. Like nothing bad's happened yet. Whee! Okay, so it's not a Formula 1 car or anything like that, but my load is still somewhat behind me, so things seem to be going okay here. And we're just going to basically see how fast we can get going and sort of what happens and all this other kind of fun. So there's a bunch of things I'm interested in with a utility vehicle. One, of course, is utility. How easy is this thing to operate? Am I able to rip around these roads without, fear of death kind of thing like that? And I'm doing about 45 miles an hour in second gear with 600 kilograms hanging off the back. So even though we are a little... Oh, there we go. We know that was going to happen. Let's see how bad it is. Oh, that's nothing. Oh, yeah, I'm still good. Still good. So we jackknifed a little bit, but I'm noticing one thing is that we do have enough power to basically get us going again. Obviously, if I dropped it into the other range, this would be a little easier. So really, not that I'm impressed, but I'm pleased, if that kind of makes sense. Obviously, we're limited to how well we can drive. Other things I'm interested in, of course, in any form of utility vehicles, I'm going to be interested in seeing how smooth of a ride it is. Obviously, this is not a luxury sedan. This is not designed to be an ultra high quality kind of thing here. It's simply designed, for the purposes of, it's got to get this thing from point A to point B. So what we're going to do is we're going to head up and try it against the mountain here. I really like trying this up against the mountain because if we can get up the mountain with this thing, I will be incredibly impressed. I have massive doubts that that's going to go well for me. By the way, you'll probably observe the fact that I've been sitting in second gear this entire time. So as far as everything goes, we're doing all right. We're just a wee bit on the underpowered side here. Uh-oh. No. Low range. Oh, come on. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah, I can. They can't do it. Oh, man, I thought for a half a second that I was going to lose it. Of course, all the professional off-roaders are going, why were you not in low range the whole time? It's like, you don't need to go that fast. I need to go this fast, thank you. We're just going to lie. Not going to lie. I think I'm going to leave it in low. Those imaginary people I just created, they're absolutely correct, by the way. All right, let's continue our little journey here. Again, enjoying a little off-road experience. And that is my objective. If you take a look right over there, for those of you who have not played around with this map before, it's actually pretty cool. We could have taken the Jungle Island map. I was definitely thinking about that one, but I wanted something that I could be a little reckless with here. I like how it tried to jackknife on me again. Whoa, okie dokie then. But the reason we're coming down over here, and I'll show you in a second, actually we're going to have to go back into low range, is there's a very, 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 very challenging hill. What we're going to try to do is we're going to see if we can get up it. I have serious doubts that we'll be able to do it. It's one of those things where it won't be until like the 1980s that I'll finally have a car that can do it. But you never know. You never know. So we're going to enjoy it. So far, this has been great. Obviously, we're not fast by any means. You can tell like we've been topping out, 40, 50, which is amazing given what I'm carrying on the terrain that I'm giving. Do you see it? So if you look on the other side of the valley, you see that really, really steep piece? You're all sitting there going, you're going to get about 6 inches up that and you're going to roll it. Probably. Let's hit the brakes here for a second here. I got to find out how to get down there. There it is. Oh, ye of little faith. Ye of little faith. I got this. Alrighty then. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is a terrible idea. Oh! Okie dokie then. Let's see here. Oh, I feel so bad for the trailer. Feel bad for the trailer. You feel bad for me. Oh! Yes, I'm absolutely abusing my load. As a matter of fact, I need to make sure the load is still attached. Okie dokie, here we go. So the challenge here is to see whether or not we can get up it. So I'm going to start with a running start, and we're going to see what happens. All right, fourth gear, here we go. Oh, come on, you can do it. No! We're going back downhill. Oh, no! Well, I hate to say it, but... hey, we're still good. Built like a true utility vehicle. Well, that didn't work. I'll just keep driving. Not bad. Not bad. All right, so let's chat about this thing. So obviously, with our little utility test here, there's a great little screenshot there. I'm not that bent up and broken. I'm only mostly bent up and broken. But what we can say here is that this wasn't bad. Obviously, it doesn't have a lot of power. That's kind of going to kill it. And obviously, we're dealing with tires that are probably not the optimum tires for this particular type of terrain here, which is a shame because it would be super fun to see if we could actually get up there. We're definitely underpowered. We have some of the torque, and honestly, I'm more impressed than I'm disappointed, if that makes sense with this particular one. Like I said, we'll continue the series. We'll go all the way up until the 2000s and kind of see how vehicles sort of evolve with time and how their performance changes. But I get the feeling it's going to be a little while before we're going to be able to actually drag things up there. But other than that, enjoy. Oh no!